I just got done practice with Jacob Molnar, the future World Ball and Drive champion, hopefully this week, right? We're getting ready to go out to Colorado. Just got done a phenomenal practice, 2 great practices in a row. And just wanted to ask Jacob just a quick tip, if you would, for everyone out there. All the regular Joes like me that can't hit a ball 444 yards like he just did. Jacob, what would be the advice to like the average Joe, right? The average guy who's struggling with hitting it farther, sees someone like you and says, oh my God, I could never do that. But what would your advice be to like hit the ball farther for the average golfer?
My biggest advice would just be, turn the golf swing in more athletic. A lot of people, other sports they play, they worry more about being athletic. In golf, it seems that just gets thrown out the window and people just don't think about that, And I think just getting out there, hitting some balls at the range or at a simulator, just thinking, let me get athletic. Let me think about, if I played baseball, let me think about it. What did I do in baseball?
Look like, right?
Tennis, because a lot of those sports, it's a similar, they call it the kinematic sequence, and you're trying to, load your lower body followed by your upper body, and that's what I think of,
Yeah, I used to think about, or I used to have a coach that would say ball and stick sports, stick and ball sports, right? Same kind of concept, right? I think that's a great point. Look, especially in the day and age of all this golf instruction, everyone is so 10 positions of a golf swing, for crying out loud. Get my arms here, and all that stuff might have some part in someone's swing, if you would. But to your point, man, if I could get a feeling, or if an average Joe could get a feeling of like what that feels like to really go for it, and then feel that in the confines of a golf swing, right? It's not like you can't do a Happy Gilmore kind of thing,
exactly.
right? But that idea of just, I like that term, like you said, like getting more athletic through the golf swing. I don't think a lot of people even think about that, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think a lot of people, they completely throw out the athleticism. And I think that it's to a point, like you say, you don't want to do Happy Gilmore, you don't want to swing out of your shoes, but just think about it like an athlete. And I think it all also like goes towards other parts of your game. You stop getting inside your head. That's what I think.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
Exactly.
Right? It doesn't have to be perfect. Well, there it has. I think that's some great advice. Jacob Molnar, we're actually going out to Denver for the last event before the World Championship. Hopefully we pull back a win. All right.